Good morning, High Trust Coaching. Good morning, everyone. I am Hope Bourman, Divisional President of High Trust Coaching, and I have with me one of our High Trust certified coaches, Cindy Tomcak. Cindy,
Good morning.
welcome.
Good morning. Thank you.
So as you may notice, High Trust Coaching Live has taken on a different format. This is something we're going to be doing a little bit differently today. We thought that it might be a better value for you to meet some of our coaches and have a real conversation around some of the laws of high trust selling. So here we are. Today, Cindy and I are going to dive into the law of the courtship. And what the law of the courtship says is that for a relationship to be right on the outside, it must be right on the inside. Salespeople would dramatically increase their sales rates if they did a better job of dating their prospects before they say, I do. So Cindy, can you talk to me a little bit about why is that important?
Well, I love that analogy that Todd uses in regards to dating because it's such the truth. And, honestly, what the law of the courtship does is it provides a foundation to effectively build, high trust relationships, and not just high trust, but loyal relationships versus just going in and being very transactional and high level. And so the importance of it in sales is that longevity and that sustainability, having those clients and those partners, for life. And honestly, Hope, the law of the courtship applies in everyone that we meet, right? Not just in business, but everyone that we meet. So it's just sustainability to really look to see, am I connecting with someone and are they in alignment with me? And do we want to go to the next step?
Cindy, that is absolutely so true. I remember the very first time that I learned the law of the courtship. And it was a real mindset shift for me because when I was going out and meeting with real estate agents or prospective realtor partners, it used to be that I was, meeting them and wanting to work with them and wanting to get their business and wanting them to refer their clients to me and all of those things. And as soon as I learned truly the law of the courtship, I realized that I was interviewing them just as much as they were interviewing me.
Yeah. Well, I think too, the concept, because I think you and I have talked that we learned this about the same time, in our career. And I think that also just, so many times even for myself and my style, I'm a relationship builder. And so myself, and I've heard so many loan officers talk about that, if I just become friends, if I get people to like me, they'll do business with me. And what I love about what Todd has created in this law of the courtship is it just provides that ability to take that to another level, to a more professional level. And so I look so forward to walking through this and seeing how that applies, not only with the friends, because we do become friends with people, but there is the line between a friend and the line between doing business. And we have to have both of them within our business partnerships.
Yeah, Cindy, that is so true, because, oftentimes when you do become friends with a referral partner, it's hard for them to see you from a business perspective. Wouldn't you say?
Absolutely.
So, absolutely, you do want them to like you. Absolutely. Good morning, Teresa Odette. It's great to see you here. Good morning, Judith or Jennifer as well. It's absolutely true. I think that it's almost, Cindy, would you say that it's almost a little bit of a default, when, maybe they may not be courageous or confident enough to have that real live conversation?
No, absolutely. I think it's one of my favorite quotes is you got to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. And it's that I don't want to be too salesy, right? And so I remember working with, when I was managing and working with loan officers, and they would say, but Cindy, if I take them to lunch, that's what I like to do. I like to take people to lunch. I like the chit chat. And so I just think that going through the law of the courtship, you're right, Hope. It absolutely engages confidence, and not just confidence, but you know what to say. And that right there, the law of the dress rehearsal Todd talks about, right? When you know what you want to say, you just are more confident in it, and you're also in control of the conversation. And so this whole model that he's created is easy to do, and it is something that absolutely working with loan officers, and when I see them do it and the wow they have when they come away from one of those conversations is, it's encouraging, and they will go try it again. It's just getting them to the point that they're comfortable at moving into that conversation.
Yeah, it's so absolutely true. And I think that's one of the, I always kind of like to call it the coach's glow, when they do get comfortable outside their comfort zone and they just trust you enough to just give it a go, right?
Yeah.
Give it a try. And then they say, oh my God, it worked. It was amazing. It was the best conversation we've ever had, so
Yeah.
so let's get into that a little bit, Cindy. What is the process of the high trust interview?
Well, I think that, just to back up 2 steps, is that, Todd created a 4-part model, right? And so, act 1 of the model is the approach. And even before you get into the high trust interview, when we are coaching members, it no matter if you've been in the business 5 years, 10 years, I even am coaching people that are in the business 20 years. And the approach part, it's not just about asking for the appointment, it's preparing yourself. And so many loan officers skip this part. They go right into the interview. So one thing that I do as a coach is I back people up just 2 seconds and just make sure that they know why you. Why should that person do business with you? Why your company? What values do you stand for? And that you're looking for on that date, right? The courtship, that you're looking to see, is there a match? And then who do you want to engage with? Because so often, and you've seen this in your career, Hope, where, someone sends you a lead and you're like, oh my God, they're it. And they're going to be, now we're going to be partners. And that's just not true. You have to really work at this, and this provides you the model. So the approach is part 1. The high trust interview is truly the foundation of the law of the courtship. It is what I think this whole thing was built on, was this part of it, to enable people to absolutely ask meaningful questions, to truly understand, what someone's desires and goals and needs are, to also look at what are their expectations. And then the biggest thing learning for me was the active listening, to actually not go in there and show up and throw up, right? But actually to listen and take what they say and build trust first, and then look at doing business second. So truly that's the foundation and the purpose behind the interview within the law of the courtship.
It's so true, Cindy, and that's, the active listening piece and also the approach piece. As I was listening to you talk, I was thinking about the high impact introduction, right? The very first thing that you say when you're going into that conversation, which is going to make you unique, in that conversation. And whether you've been doing business with that particular referral partner for 5 years, 5 minutes, it doesn't matter if you come out with that high impact. And also to your point with regard to why you. If you know that high impact introduction and you're at a networking meeting or, out, if we ever get to go on networking meetings again, it's, why should I do business with you? And boy, if you don't have that answer, that is, you're doing yourself a disservice. And just knowing the high impact intro alone is, why should I do business with Cindy Tomcak? And you have an answer to that person is going to listen.
Absolutely. Well, one thing, so let me just share for people maybe that are on the line, or that are watching us that maybe aren't familiar with a high impact, opening. Truly, Todd built and laid this high impact opening out because the purpose The purpose of a high impact opening truly is to get permission to ask deep questions to this individual that you are talking with. And so let me give you an example of what that might look, what that sounds like is, Debbie, thank you so much for your time. A lot of people think that I'm in the business just to do mortgages, but I don't see it that way. I see it that my job and my responsibility is to absolutely help you as a referral partner and my clients achieve their highest goals and needs. And so I can't do that though without knowing, what those are. So let me just ask you, help me understand what's important to you about success to you. So that right there, that statement can be adjusted, right?
Yep.
That statement can be adjusted for the interview itself. I've even worked with clients to, when they're going to set an appointment. So let's say they've been in relationship, with an agent and they just give them a call and they just say, hey, Debbie, we've worked together a really long time. And, a lot of people think I just do mortgages, but I just don't see it that way. And I truly want to understand what your goals and needs are. So I'd like to set up an appointment so that I can understand what does success look like to you. So just that, using it that way. Also, I had one of my clients use it and then opened up a sales meeting via Zoom and boom. Because what it does, you guys, is the high impact opening, Todd built it. It's a disruption.
Yeah.
People are so used to loan officers saying, and agents and financial planners saying the exact same thing every time someone's calling them. Hi, I just want to get together with coffee and understand and tell you about what I have to offer. When you say something like this in high impact opening, it makes people do this and just listen because it's different. Their brain kicks in to go, whoa, well, wait a minute. And what a fabulous first impression.
Cindy, that is absolutely true. And, I can't emphasize it enough. I've used it in my business and you've used it in your business. And I had a conversation with one of our master level coaching members yesterday, and we had a conversation around this because I knew I was going to be speaking about it. And I had a conversation with him about it, and he uses a variation of it. And and we talked about some of his apprehensions around actually, coming out and saying that on every single new borrower consultation, every new realtor consultation. So we had to go a little bit deeper to kind of uncover what that was about first, right?
Yeah.
And then get to a place where, where he just really felt a little bit uncomfortable with some of the verbiage. And I said, okay, great. Why don't you write your own?
Yeah.
And next call, we'll do it your way.
Right.
As long as you keep the main elements of the high impact intro in there, then that's going to have the same impact. It's going to have the same, and it will be your own.
Yeah. Well, and I think as a coach, and I know that you and all the other coaches experience this also, is that it is a lot easier to keep doing what you've always done.
Sure.
But when people engage in this model, it is our job as a coach to continue to bring them back to the opportunities that are in front of them to apply this high trust interview, because it is unique. It does set people apart. And what I love about what Todd says is that it creates substantial, not just some, but substantial sales success. So, the opening is huge. It is part of the high trust interview to get that permission. And then the second step of the interview, there's 3 steps. That's it. There's just 3 steps. There's the opening of a disruption of, wow, now they're listening to me. And the second step really is about a values discovery. And, the purpose of the second step is to ask questions that lead that person to say what their greatest value is, in their life, in their business, and in relationships with me as their partner. And, questions, the main question, which can be adjusted depending on who's in front of you. So let's just say there's a person in front of me, agent in front of me. And, really the question is what's important to you about being successful? Because, and what I like to tell people is, in the approach section, you did your research. You looked at their production numbers. You read their testimonials. And you can slide into this question as easy as, you know what? I looked you up. I saw your success. I see what people say about you. Tell me, what's important to you about being successful? Now, the key is to shut up. Yeah. Once you ask that question, let them talk.
Absolutely. Let them talk, and active listening, as you were talking about earlier.
Yes. Yes.
So what do you think about the idea of taking notes, Cindy, during a high trust interview?
I've always been a note taker. As a coach, I'm a note taker. And I always, it is something that I set the expectation of my meeting. I pull my paper out, I have my pen, and I just say to them, this is important to me, and I don't want to miss anything. And so you're going to see me jotting some things down. Please know that I am actively listening to you. But this is important so I can circle back around, and share with you at another time how I can help you achieve those goals. So what you don't want is to write a dissertation. That you're just writing a paragraph, every single word, bullet point, you guys, keep it simple. But I am. What about you, Hope? Do you?
Yeah, I take, I'll take one word notes. I will ask permission first. So I'll say, this isn't, like, as you were just saying, Cindy, this is an important conversation. Is it okay with you if I take a few notes while we're talking? Right. And give your permission as well. And then I try to take one word notes that will basically cause my memory to trigger my memory. And then I'll go back and then I'll write the dissertation when I get back to my office, right?
Yeah.
So let me ask you a question. One of the things that we do in coaching is we kind of profile and this is something that I did early on that Todd Duncan taught in my own business, and that was basically deciding what type of referral partner relationship do I want to have. Really profile and this is the person that I want to work with. I want them to share my core values. I want them to be successful. I want them to be as committed to their business as I am. Just all of those types of things. And I think that when they go into that high trust interview with that profile in mind, what happens with that, Cindy? How is that impact?
Well, honestly, it puts you in the driver's seat to set the standards of the way you want to do business. Mm-hmm. So often, as we as loan officers come into this position on just what can I do for you? Just send me anything, almost a begging format. And what I love about that partnership and creating who is that it's like a vision. When you put a vision out into the universe, then things start coming back to you. The same applies to creating a partner profile. You definitely know the characteristics of the people you don't want to work with. And that's usually how I tell people, start there, draw a line down the piece of paper. And if you can think of everybody that not their names, but the characteristics of those you don't want to work with there. And then on the opposite side, what do you want? And that's really how you can create. And then you go to work from there. But what's important that I tell my clients, look, everybody, when they get started, first 3-4 years, sometimes have to do the shotgun approach, right? And to get their volume going. Right. But the sooner you can absolutely set your standards, set what you're looking for, know what your communication plan is. Know what do you say when and accessibility, knowing all of that really sets you apart on the foundational people that you end up working with. So you can start anytime doing this.
Right.
You might let go of some people once you see who you want to work with, but it's so important to know.
Yes. And, and that's another important point, Cindy, is that you may let go of people. I know that when I'm in coaching, we're going through the current referral partners, and we kind of do a deep dive on these current referral partners. Some of them stay in the loop. Some of them stay referral partners, and we just look to find ways to go deeper with that relationship. Some of them don't, because they don't really fit the mold. I remember an interview we did not too long ago on Coffee with Todd with Kristen Hansen. And that was something that Kristen and I worked a lot on. And she talked about the fact that she said, like you just said, every deal you had to do everything. You had to get up in the middle of the night. You had to take calls on Sundays and Mondays, and, on vacation in Thailand with your husband. And then she got to a place where she said, I want to work with this profile. And it's okay for me to say no. And for me to have that balance of life. And boy, once that light bulb goes off, you can't turn it on.
Well, it kind of really applies to the 80-20 rule that Todd talks about, right? Is when you let go of high maintenance, low profit individuals that you're working with, it just opens the door for you to have more space to work with the other ones. And, I wanted to add something about the values discovery question. It's just not one question, guys.
Thank you.
It is, what does being successful mean to you? You go deeper. And this is where I find sometimes loan officers are uncomfortable of going deeper and personal. If someone said, hey, what's important about being success? A lot of times people will say, oh, I need to make money. Well, okay. Well, what's important about you to being able to financially support your family? And I had an experience where, a gentleman shared with me that he had an adult special needs child, and he absolutely was going to be supporting them for the rest of their life. And so it was so important to him. I would never have known that if I had not gone deeper with that question. So if the discomfort is not coming from them, guys, the discomfort is coming from you by not wanting to go deeper. So again, take those questions twofold, threefold deeper. And that then moves us right into the step 3. Remember, there's 3 steps: opening statement, values, discovery questions. What is success? Why is that important? And really the third, the purpose, it's the high value needs. And the purpose of this section of the high trust interview is to learn how the potential prospect expects you to conduct yourself while doing business.
Yes.
It is and Todd recommends 3. At least get them to talk about 3. They may have 5, 6, but at least 3. And, here's a great transition that he shares with us. And and I want you guys to know, everything that we're sharing, when you're a coaching member, we provide the scripts for you. We absolutely provide, how to do this in role play. So a transition from, why is success important to you is this. Debbie, now that I understand, what's important to you about success, I really want to know, what's the most important thing to you about partnering with me as a professional lender, professional agent, professional financial planner? Doesn't matter what business you're in. That transition invites them to tell me, what is it that I need to do? And 9 times out of 10, Hope, and correct me if I'm wrong, because you've done this plenty, communication's number 1. Yes. Accessibility is number 2. And then 3, 4, 5, it can be a lot of different things.
Right.
And it's really, then again, I'm going to go back to what I said about the success. You got to go deeper. If they say, well, good communication, you want to unpack that. You want to ask.
Yes.
Tell me about that.
Yeah, a great way to respond to that is, great communication means a lot of different things to a lot of different people. So
Yeah.
talk to me a little bit about what does great communication look like to you when working with a lender?
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
that's going to A, disrupt, right?
Yes.
And B, it's going to help them to do it really, because, well, let me think about this. Normally I just say communication and the conversation's over, right? You know, so absolutely. So Cindy, we're getting up on our time. Can you believe that we're getting a little bit up on our time here? This has been so much fun. I could talk to you forever, but I'd like to talk to you a little bit about high trust coaching and being a certified coach. Cindy, you have 30 years in business experience in the mortgage industry. Started as a processor, top producing loan officer, branch manager, area manager for a Fortune 500 company in Nebraska. You are a certified coach, and you are now a high trust selling coach, certified coach. First of all, thank you so much for all that you do. You bring so much value, immense value to our coaching community. But talk to me a little bit. Why coach, Cindy?
Why high trust coaching? You know, I wonderfully learned this model back in 2000. The company I was with brought, I think you were part of that company at that time, brought Todd in to teach us this model. I used it as a loan officer. I used it as a manager with my people. I used it as a coach. And throughout my career, you know, it absolutely was part of who I am. It gave me structure. I left the industry, got certified as a coach, and had been working with Todd, got laid off, and Todd, I reached out to Todd. I got brave. I reached out to Todd. I was looking at different coaching companies. And I reached out and talked to Todd, and he said, why don't you consider us? And I did consider. I mean, there was a lot of company I was looking at, but it came down to this. I'm a relational gal. I have used this for 30 plus years. I know it works. Yes. I have relationships that were built off this model for a lifetime, agents, clients for a lifetime. So it was very easy for me to say, I don't need to go and learn anything else. This is who I am. And I tell you, honestly, to be a part of this and to be able to coach, use the experience that I've had in the industry, be surrounded by such professional people in the industry and the coaches and everything that they give, as well as having Todd part of our system often to share and collaborate with us. I truly believe that I am exactly where I was meant to be, and that my paths were meant at this time in my life to cross with high trust selling.
That's fantastic, Cindy. We're really grateful to have you. You know, a lot of people ask me, what does it take to be a coach with high trust, be a high trust coach? And, you know, the basic qualifiers, the foundational qualifiers are, you have to be a graduate of High Trust Sales Academy. Yeah. You have to be a master of the high trust selling methodology. And most importantly is you have to be a certified, you know, you have to have the heart of a coach, and that kind of gets your foot in the door. Yeah. So, and I am obviously looking to expand our faculty. I am looking for new coaches, and I would obviously, welcome the opportunity of anyone who thinks that they would like to see if they qualify to be a high trust coach. I promise you it will enhance your life by being a high trust coach. Send me an email to hope.bourman@hightrustcoaching, and I will send you a link, which is the application link, and we would welcome the opportunity. I'd like to also mention, Jennifer Krause mentioned, don't forget to be mindful of your body language when you're in a high trust interview. So thank you, Jennifer. That was really, truly very, very important that you were sitting up and that you're making eye contact, and you're coming in there with confidence as well. So Cindy, I thank you so much. We're right up on the hour, I think, here. Is there anything you want to add in the last couple of minutes?
No. I just really encourage people to, no matter where you're at in your career, if you absolutely have anywhere from 5 to 10 more years remaining in this industry, you guys really need to look at High Trust Coaching and what Todd and all the coaches offer, because it is a platform that will enable you to go out with a bang and or build a sustainable, successful sales business. So great to be part of it.
All right. So, and if you're interested in we do offer a free coaching call. So all you need to do is go to hightrustcoaching.com and schedule a free coaching call with one of our certified coach consultants. There it is right there on the screen. So we invite you to have a conversation with us. No obligation, just have a conversation with us. We'd love to hear from you.
Great.
All right. So
Thank you, Hope.
That's it. And are we done, Mr. Ray? I think we are. So have a great day.
Thank you.